Hey guys, today I'm here with Nicholas. He's going to be sharing with us all about e-commerce website design tips. Hey Nicholas, and welcome.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn from you. Real quickly, do you mind starting with your background and then please share your screen and kind of dive in?
Yeah, definitely. So, background here, I've been in the marketing space going on a little over 10 years now, focusing on a little bit of everything over the years before really finding my home here with website design and development. I do run an agency here in Salt Lake. We specialize in e-commerce as well as non-e-commerce website design and development, specifically on Shopify and Webflow. Yeah, but I'll jump into it here more when I get in here. So let me share my screen real quick. Oops. Do this for you. Boom. And boom. There we go. Cool. Let's go full screen.
Yeah, dude, looks great. I'll let you take it from here.
Cool. All right, sounds good. So today we're going to be going into e-commerce website tips. The whole goal here is to really take the guesswork out of scaling a brand. So before we jump into here, like I said, I run an agency here in Salt Lake City. We're a team of 6. Over the last 18 months or so, we've built over 100 websites. So we've done a lot. We've seen a lot. We've seen what doesn't work. We've seen what does work. And one thing I do want to note, as much as we focus on website design and development, we do a little bit of SEO, a little bit of paid advertising. And with that, why I bring that up is really because all of our websites are designed for growth. So we're always trying to balance that perfect spot between design and performance to really give people as much bang for their buck. So this presentation is really about how we do that. It's really going to be about how we find that balance, what we look for, and what really goes into building a site that is designed to grow. So quick little agenda here, why we need to focus on the website. One thing that we see a lot of is people just don't really think about their website too much. Everyone's talking about paid ads or email and really like where the cool stuff happens, where the big numbers happen, where the big money happens, but they don't think about the website. So we're going to be covering that. We're also going to be covering what really goes into a website, what needs to be on your website, some of those elements that we use, that we focus on, and then what a lot of people don't have on their website. That's a really big red flag. And then lastly, we're going to cover some of the strategies and objectives of a website that you can use to really grow your brand. So without any further ado, we're going to jump in here of why you need to focus on your website, and don't worry about that typo right there. So first thing is really going over why websites are important. So I always say that the website is your core of your business online. So I've built this diagram here. You can see right in the middle there, we have Shopify, right? So your website lives on Shopify, but around it, you've got over here, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Klaviyo, we've got Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok, a little word of mouth here, Twitter, really whatever it is, however you're getting traffic, that's great. You can have the best email campaign. You can have the best ad campaign. You can have the best TikTok that goes viral and you get 1 billion views on there. But really what happens is everything comes down to your website. And if people land on your website, it's slow, it doesn't look pretty, it doesn't relate to your marketing, doesn't work, the list goes on and on. Whatever that is, if it doesn't convert, you're not making any money, and all that money you put into your ads, if you put into your email marketing, you put into that strategy is going away, right? Not to say that people won't buy, but you're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table if that website isn't really designed to take advantage of as much traffic as possible. So when we put it like this, it makes the website look pretty important. Because really the difference, I'm going to move this over here just a little bit so you can see that, it's really the same difference between $100,000 a month and $200,000 a month, which is a huge difference, right? That's a lot of money that a lot of brands would definitely be excited about. But that difference is really the same as the difference, between a little video things there. It's really the same difference as a conversion rate of 1.1% and 2.2. And that's something that a lot of brands don't think about. 1.1% is honestly better than a lot of the brands we see when they come to us. These brands come to us, the first thing I ask is, what's your conversion rate? A lot of times brands will talk about, oh, we're at 1%, we're at 1.1, we're at 1.3, whatever. that's a big thing that I can say, hey, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, especially if you're running a lot of advertising, if you're running a lot of email. And this really puts it in perspective. You can get $100,000 a month with a 1.1% conversion rate, but getting that up to 2.2%, that's going to take all your other marketing efforts and make it that much better. And that's what we can do to get you up to a $200,000 a month using the same strategies you're doing. You don't need to change anything else. All you need to do is just make some tweaks on your website. And so really that's something that is huge. So now I'm going to jump over here into kind of our element overview. Basically what I'm going to be doing over the next couple slides is talking about what needs to be on your site. Some of the things that we see that brands don't have on their site that can really, factor into having a lower conversion rate. Very rarely do we see websites that have all of these elements that I'm going to be talking about have a poor conversion rate. Obviously, there's some other things that go into it, but this would be a pretty good starting point if you haven't really focused on a website before. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about here is our starting homepage flow. Obviously, every business is unique. Every brand is unique. Every product is unique. So there's going to be, specifics for each brand. But in general, this is a pretty good starting point, especially if you haven't really thought about it. A lot of times brands, especially when they're just starting out, just slap something together. It works, it's great, blah, blah, blah. They put some stuff on there without really any rhyme or reason. But when we start diving into it, this is a pretty good flow that we could have as a homepage to really start getting those conversions up, really start taking the website to the next level. So first things first, our hero section. That's the first thing someone sees when they land on a site. And this is probably one of the most important things you're going to have on your site. One thing we see a lot of brands miss the mark on is this who, what, and how. So based on the book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, this is something that's really important. Basically what it is it's three things you want to have in your hero section. It's who you are, what you do, and most importantly, how do I buy from you, right? If I go on to any website, I want to know whose website I'm on. I want to know what you're selling, and I want to know how to buy, whether that's click now to shop our latest collection, shop our spring collection, whatever that call to action is that you want users to take. That's something that needs to be front and center. That needs to populate instantly so people they land instantly know what they're doing there. From there, probably one of the most missed sections we see is this educational content. And really what that comes down to is getting people familiar with your brand. So the best way to describe this is kind of a little bit of a difference here between two brands. So let's use a t-shirt, just a blank t-shirt, for example, doesn't take too much explaining, right? We get it, you sell t-shirts, that's great. But if you have a unique product or a very unique value proposition, a lot of times people won't really understand it. So Chase, this is something that I think is really important that you talk about a lot on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Is sure, you could sell something basic, or you could sell something that's very specific, right? And this is that educational content that we can really talk about. So a good example, we work with a brand called Wild Gear. I built their site last year. And one of the things that they sell is their flagship product is this big, incredible cooler. But if you look at it, you're like, oh, that's cool, it's a cooler. But if you add a little more education, why is this the best cooler? Why is this cooler awesome? So having a little bit more education behind the product to really explain the product in an easy, quick, simple way is a place that a lot of brands miss the mark on, that I think a lot of brands could really capitalize on to quickly increase conversions, just because it's a little bit more customer education. From there, once we have that, people know what they're buying, why they're there, make it easy to buy. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. But one thing we always do is put in like a best seller quick buy. If you have a product that really drives your sales, this would be a great section for it. Most likely, if it's your flagship product, it's the most popular one, people are going to like it, people are going to want it. So having that right there, making it easy for people to buy, and land there, click it, buy, they're out, make it easy. That's something that's definitely going to help speed up that transaction process. And really, it's going to, go to those conversions. Next up, we have reviews. Reviews are everything, right? Everyone talks about reviews, collecting reviews, having them throughout the site. It really makes a big difference. And to this day, it amazes me how many brands don't have reviews throughout their site. If you don't have reviews, please, please, please do yourself a favor and go put reviews on your site. Work with your customers, reach out to your customers, get that customer feedback, and get those reviews on your site, especially putting them on your homepage, because if you don't have them on your homepage, you are going to be missing out on a lot. I can tell you that my product is the best product in the world, but if one of my customers says, hey, this product is the best product in the world, that just creates so much validation and makes my brand look that much better. People are going to respond to that a lot better, and they're actually going to want to buy instead of being on the edge of that purchase. Maybe not. Reviews make a huge difference, and having them pretty quick on the homepage is important. I always say we don't want to have that validation from third people until we get to the very bottom. We want that pretty quick, right? So the sooner you can do it, the better off you're going to be, because not everyone's going to make it all the way to the bottom of the homepage. So getting it right there, nice and quick, really saying, hey, this product's awesome. Look at all these reviews we have. That's going to make a pretty big difference as people are scrolling. From there, though, once we have that validation, people have a pretty good idea. If they're still not sold, they still haven't clicked off to a different page yet, now would be a good time to have a collection overview. So, for example, on a collection overview, let's say you have 4 different collections, have a little section for each one of those to help guide people to the rest of the site, to have them have an easy way to get to what they're looking for. Good example, just a quick and easy one. If you're selling clothes, you have a t-shirt collection, you have a pants collection, and you got a sweatshirt collection. Have a place where people can go to click through to navigate to the rest of the site without having to go find your navigation or anything like that. Next up, inspiration. We all want to be inspired. Everyone wants to feel good about buying from a brand. They all want to feel connected to the brand. Having an inspiration section is huge. This is something that really connects with your customers emotionally. It makes them feel like they're part of your brand, that you need to be part of the brand. So that's something that's huge. And this is something I did put in the bottom, is the newsletter subscription. Obviously, Chase, you're going to like this one. But collecting those emails, building that list is huge. I like to have it at the bottom, but I also like to have it throughout. So having a good pop-up using like Just Uno or something like that, making something that looks like really engaging other than just a boring, bland pop-up, having something like that, that's going to help get your emails. And that's something that I like to have kind of throughout the homepage. So I put it at the bottom here, but definitely want to have that a little bit more than once to really encourage that. Having a good offer, Chase is definitely the expert on that, not me. But having a good offer to get those emails signed up is going to be important as well. So from there, we're going to jump over here to our product page flow. This is something that's also pretty neglected. On Shopify, it's pretty easy to get a very simple product page, but taking it a step further can make a huge difference for your conversions, especially if you're selling, higher end products, something that has a little bit more commitment needed to be able to buy. But first things first, images, right? Having those product images, that's something that takes a lot of thought for brands. And a lot of brands only have 1 or 2 images of their products, which to me is incredible. It blows my mind that they don't have more. But having more, especially if you're selling like a bundle or there's a few things that come with it, showing everything that people are getting. I don't want to just see the product. I want to see everything I'm getting. What does it look like when it gets to my door? What's the packaging look like? What's the product look like? Does it come with any accessories? Like with tech, does it come with a charger, right? A lot of people want to see that in the image because they're not going to take the time to read the description and see what comes with their purchase. So putting everything in the images is going to be huge. And with that, also having a strong buy box. I would say people are drawn to color. So having something eye-catching, some kind of eye-catching color that's on brand for your buy buttons is going to make people's eyes just instantly drawn over to that buy button. And that's what we want. If people have to search for how to buy, they're going to get frustrated. They're going to click off. So make it easy for people to find those buy buttons so they can actually go and buy. Engaging descriptions. Obviously, we need to have good copy in there. Let people know what they're buying, why they're buying it. And this is something, Chase, I know you do with your emails, is selling those benefits, not necessarily the features. Features are cool. That's great. We got to have our tech stuff in there. But how is this going to help me? How is this going to change my life? Why do I need this product? That's the kind of stuff we want to put in the description to really make people feel connected to that product and be like, dude, I need to buy this product right now. I don't want to do anything else today. I just want to buy this product. That's the kind of stuff we want in there. If you're selling something that has, fitment, extra info, additional specs, stuff like that, definitely put that in there. A lot of themes on Shopify, you can use like tabs or something like that. That'd be a great place to have that. Going back to those testimonials, definitely want to have those on the product page. Not everyone's going to land on the homepage, especially if you're clicking over from an email or an ad. If you're clicking over specifically to that product page, having testimonials there is going to be huge. Just like on the homepage, we want to have that third-party validation. We want to have that on the product page, especially if we can get it specific for that individual product as well. Shopify makes that pretty easy. There's a ton of apps out there. I'm a huge fan of ones that can also collect some UGC as well. That makes it pretty cool. People can see other people actually using the product. I think that goes a long way on the reviews too, really adding an extra little personal touch. Again, inspiration and lifestyle, definitely want to have that on there. We always want to make people feel as like connected to the brand as possible. The more connected you are, the more like you feel like you're part of the brand, the more likely you are to make that purchase. So that's something that a lot of brands don't do, is they don't really have that lifestyle, like that section that says, this could be you using the product. We want that on those product pages. And then last but not least, having like an other products or offer you might also like, recently viewed, stuff like that. That's always good to have. Very Amazon-like, definitely good to have there. But I'm always going to say be careful on this, because the more we ask for upsells, the more we try to move people around from product to product, you're more likely to hurt your conversion rate. So finding that balance between upselling people, getting a bigger average order value, and making it quick and easy for people to actually buy without much thought to it, always a balance there. So be careful as you test this out, try different things, and really find what works for your brand, right? That's something that every brand's a little bit different. So figuring that process out and what works is definitely something you're going to want to test over time. And we'll talk about that here right now in strategies and objectives. So this is something that I think a lot of brands just put their website up and just be like, boom, it's good, that's it. But there's a lot more to it than just that, right? Websites are a lot more in depth and can make a pretty big impact, especially if you take the time to really optimize it and build that strategy and really get those objectives dialed in. So the first things we are going to talk about is strategies. So making it fast. Shopify is notoriously slow. So doing what you can to make it faster is going to make a pretty big difference, especially with your conversion rate. If someone clicks on an ad or they click on an email and they're excited to buy a product and your website takes 10 seconds to load, your people are going to click off. No one's going to wait 10 seconds to wait for a product to load. If your offer is really, really, really good, maybe, but even then, I personally wouldn't wait 10 seconds for something to load. I'm going to assume that the site's broken and I'm clicking off. So making it fast is huge. Talked about this a little bit earlier in making that transaction process fast. This goes down to reducing friction. So I always talk about how can I make it as easy for my people to buy as possible? Get them to the product page quickly, make that checkout process quick and easy. Whatever I can do to make that purchase painless, easy, simple, blah, blah, blah. Reducing the friction that it takes to make a purchase, that's going to help with your conversion rates. And it's just going to make people want to buy more. It's going to make it easy for people to buy. So I talked about this a second ago, balancing conversion rates and average order value. This comes down to the upsells, right? Upsells, offers, bundles, stuff like that. Whatever we can do to really find that perfect balance. Every brand is unique. So this isn't something that's like a one size fits all for brands. This is something that every brand really needs to test, because it's going to be different for everybody. Some people might want average order values to be a little bit higher, but some people might want a conversion rate higher. You can upsell them later down the road in an email. Could go either way. This is something that's unique for every brand. But as you're starting to increase those average order values with bundles, upsells, on product or product page upsells, checkout upsells, stuff like that, that's just going to go into the friction. That's going to make it a little bit more strenuous for people to buy. So your friction goes up, your conversion rates go down. So finding that balance is definitely something that a lot of brands should be focusing on. Chase, you're going to like this one, building your list. So we want to build that email list, because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to buy when they first land on the site, right? You know this more than anyone else. So building that list, it's something that your website really can do for you, right? Getting people on your emailing list, on your SMS list, that's something that is invaluable. Like you always talk about on socials, you can get shut down on Facebook, you can get shut down everywhere, but you own your email list. And that's something that your website really needs to be doing for the longevity of your business. And a lot of brands do that. They do an okay job with it, but focusing on that as a primary strategy on your website is often overlooked. A lot of brands can focus on that more. Next up, we've got a couple more things here. So giving people a reason to come back, I think that's something that a lot of brands miss the mark on as well. Because a lot of times I go on there, that's great. I look at it, I'm not quite ready to buy yet, but I have no reason to come back in a month when I am ready to buy. There's nothing new. There's no updates. But brands that are continuously bringing new products in, they're bringing new value in, whatever that is, special offers, new bundles, stuff like that, that's going to make people come back. And so we really want to give people a reason to come back. I don't want to land on the site 3 months later and see the same products, same style, same everything I saw 3 months ago. I want to see something new. I want to see something like, oh, that's cool. That wasn't there last time. That's the kind of stuff that as a consumer, people want to see. And that's going to make people want to convert again and again and again. And that's something we can do to help increase that returning customer rate, which again, just goes down to that bottom line and gives us more profit. So last but not least here on our strategies, SEO. A lot of brands think of email and they think of ads, but they don't think about SEO. SEO is a long-term game, takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. Anyone who tells you that SEO is free is crazy, because if you're thinking about the time it takes, time is not free. SEO does take a lot of time, but the best time to start SEO was a year ago. Second best time is right now. So focus on SEO, get those organic people on your website, get in front of people organically. That's going to lower your costs. And that's something that a website can really help you do, is lowering those marketing costs, because you're getting people there organically. A lot of brands don't do that just because it does take so much time. It's such a long-term thing, but focusing on that will help you with it in the longevity of your brand. So make sure you're focusing on that, because really at the end of the day, your growth is only as good as your website, right? Like I said at the very beginning, you can have the best email campaigns, you can have the best advertising, you can have the best word of mouth marketing. But really, if people land on your website, it's not good, they don't like it, they don't feel connected to the brand, they're not going to convert. So I hope this was helpful. Chase, did you have any questions for me? Should I touch on anything else in there, or do you think that's enough to get people to get that profitability up?
No, this was fantastic, man. You well over delivered. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I guess my questions are, what's the link to your website, and what social handles do you want people to go visit you at?
Yeah, definitely. So our website's just 253media.com. And then my socials are just nreed253, or at 253media. I think on everything. So yeah,
amazing.
Pretty much that.
Yeah, you're the man. The links are below for those watching this video. Nicholas, thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, and your insight.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chase. It was awesome. I hope your audience got some good value out of it. I hope this helps a lot of brands.
Yeah, I know this will, man. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.